Welcome into another week as we get closer and closer and closer to Christmas Day. We've got a lot of stuff to talk. Look, I wore a festive Christmas tie.
That's a great Christmas tie.
It's festive.
Marty needs to get a close-up of that and see if it ruins the camera.
Or see if anybody has a seizure just trying to look at it.
I like Christmas ties. I've got a bunch of them. That's a good one.
I've got 4 or 5. I'll trot them out between now and...
Yeah.
We've only got a few more shows before Christmas.
I know. I put on the sweater. It was just so darn cold when I got up this
You know what
morning.
you need? You need a pipe. You have a whole Fred McMurray thing going on.
Really?
Yeah. You need a pipe and...
Do you remember when you used to do those...
Give advice to Chip and
Robbie.
Robbie.
Do those commercials for Greyhound?
Yeah.
And George Carlin did a bit on that. George Carlin said, "Yeah, I'm Fred McMurray. I'm an international film star. I've won an Academy Award. I have my own television show. But you know, when I want to go to Fresno to stab my brother-in-law, I ride the bus with you."
Fred, street level Fred. There we go.
Fred McMurray.
Hey, coming up in the show in just a few minutes, we're going to have some more live music. We love having music, especially this close to the holidays, and it's getting harder and harder to catch any live music these days because the governor doesn't seem to enjoy live music unless it's at one of his events.
He got no rhythm. He got no rhythm.
Singer-songwriter Will Wesley will join us along with his producer and collaborator Phil Chandler. They're going to make some music for us, and we're going to talk again about the plight of trying to make music your thing, which used to be pretty easy to do in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Making music your professional thing.
And we're going to have the gentleman make a little music for y'all, too, just
there
to kind of lighten the mood. Hey, did you see that the Vanderbilt kicker, she is number 3 on the depth chart.
Yeah, she finally kicked a kick that was consequential.
She had 2. She had 2 points.
The coach had been under some fire before going into the weekend for, bringing her on apparently just as a woke stunt.
Well, no, he brought her on
she's
because
a legit kicker.
The other two were sick.
Yeah, but she's a legit kicker.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see where you have to be, any particular gender as long as you can kick the ball between the uprights. What the hell?
And I'm thinking that she is probably got a lot of leg because most kickers are kind of small. Most kickers are 5'9", 5'10". Mm-hmm. She is 6'2".
Yeah, she's a tall girl,
and she's a soccer player. She actually plays on their varsity soccer team, but she scored twice with extra points. Now, I didn't see the game. I was otherwise occupied. I wish I had seen the game. Somebody tell me how far this fool from Florida threw that shoe.
About 20 yards.
20 yards? Yeah. You think he'll ever wear the uniform again under Dan Mullen? Because he cost them that game and their chance to go to the big show.
Does anybody know why?
Well, sure, because the player would have had to come out of the game because he'd have to retrieve his shoe. It was a blatant... I'm surprised they didn't eject the player from the game. But I heard that there were enough flags to signal in an airstrike from the Yorktown. Everybody saw it. How he thought he was going to get away with that, I do not know. But one of the things I missed that I was told about by 3 different people, that one of his own players slapped him upside the head hard enough to make him stumble backward 3 steps. As in, "You idiot, do you realize what you have just done?" He's playing for the wrong Florida team. He should be playing for Miami.
I thought we had all made a deal going into the football season that we were going to care less about it this year.
Well, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to care about stupidity on the football field.
Well, it's enjoyable when they screw up so very badly. Bill, here's one for you, because I know you love aviation stories. McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Passengers and crew aboard a Las Vegas flight set to take off for Portland, shocked when they spotted a man on the wing of their plane. This happened Saturday afternoon. That reminds me of a William Shatner episode of The Twilight Zone. There's a man on the wing of the airplane. But this was a real man. This wasn't a gremlin.
Had they pushed away from the gate yet?
Yes, they were taxiing.
Oh, jeez. What airline?
Lone man headed towards the plane. A representative, let me see. Alaskan Airlines, flight 1367.
Oh God!
The man had hopped on the airport's perimeter fence and made his way to the plane. Video shot by a passenger shows the man sitting and walking on the wing. He's seen removing his socks and shoes before trying to climb the Boeing 737's winglet, which is the upturned.
Oh,
you know, the little
yeah. He is very lucky that he didn't become soup.
But it indicates here that the plane had begun to roll, but not in a big way. Not just pull away from the jetway just a little bit. Took the man into custody. He was taken to a medical facility where I'm sure they will fully examine his head. Was he hoping to just hang on to that winglet for the ride? Was it just, if I hang on tight enough?
Who knows? I mean,
it's like, you're going up to about 35K. There'll be no air up there.
Well, not only that, but that thing is going to take off at about 125, 130, and
peel you off of that wing. I don't care how strong you are.
But again, this is a very, very busy airport. There is a lot of in and out there.
Oh, sure.
And what time of day did this happen?
In the afternoon.
Okay.
You can see the video. Look, broad daylight. There's a guy out on the wing of the plane.
Yeah, this is not like it happened, before the last flight leaves in the evening when it's a little slower. But how did he get across the perimeter fence without being detected?
That's a good question. I thought they had motion detectors along
most airports do.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure McCarran does as well. Anyway, it's a mystery.
Then somebody wasn't paying attention to the alarm going off.
We don't have Sky Captain's identity yet, but I'm sure that we'll be finding out in the next day or two what his deal is. I'm going to bet he has a history of being, let's say, disturbed.
And some of his set screws are not exactly flush. Let's put it that way.
We're going to take our first break of the hour and come back. We'll discuss some other things. And later this hour, we're going to talk with Will Wesley. Here's some live music. What's it like? Again, when you're trying to make a living being a musician and an entertainer, and the governor won't let you because he's afraid people will get sick. That's coming up in just moments on Exiles TV. We'll be right back.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hi.
Welcome back. Glad to have you along with us this morning. How are things in Lafayette and Kenner and New Orleans because we got more murders in Baton Rouge. We got them coming every day now.
You want to talk about murders?
I don't think we can ignore it. I really don't.
Did we have another one last night?
40-year-old man killed in overnight shooting on North Ardenwood Drive.
Yeah, that happened over the weekend, not last night particularly, but over the weekend.
And then I think there was another one early this morning, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, isn't that wonderful? I feel safer already. You know, the problems we're having with homicides and violent crime, and the problems that New Orleans is having with homicides and violent crime, and Lafayette is having with homicides and violent crime, these aren't unique. And I'm going to go off on New Orleans just a little bit. With the problems they have there, what the mayor thinks is important is telling Dick Clark Productions they don't want Lauren Daigle to perform on New Year's Eve from the New Year's Rockin' Eve in New Orleans.
New Year's Rockin' Eve.
Because she's pissed that Lauren Daigle took part in a religious concert that wasn't authorized. And
what?
It was a religious, it was a Christian music event that happened in the French Quarter, and nobody bothered to ask permission to do it. They just did it. And as I understand the story, Lauren Daigle wasn't even part of the lineup. She just happened to be there, and somebody went, Lauren Daigle, ladies and gentlemen, maybe if you applaud, we can get her up on the stage, sing a song. So Lauren Daigle went up on stage and performed, and next thing you know, the mayor is all ticked off about it because nobody asked Her Royal Highness for their permission to do what they were doing.
Well,
but this is how petty this woman is.
Well, and
after they had just had a swingers convention in New Orleans, which they know of 42 cases of COVID that came from that super spreader.
God knows how many cases of other things.
I want to talk a super spreader event in lots of different senses of the word.
No pun intended.
But yet the Christians have to be punished.
Well, I don't think
because Lauren Daigle sang on a stage without permission.
She would have been the same way if it were at a synagogue. That Christian or not has nothing to do with it. But what has to do with it is she is going to get herself crossways with the biggest cheerleader for New Orleans left, and that is the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism, Lieutenant Governor. Karen was working there. Billy Nungesser worked his ass off 4 years ago to get New Year's Rockin' Eve to do a segment in New Orleans. Because he thought it would be good for the state, and it was. And they have done one every single year.
Billy's office had even done this year, out of concerns of having a big event in Jackson Square and a huge crowd amassed in Jackson Square. Billy had arranged to have the thing shot on the West Bank, where you could see across the river, and all that Jackson Square was a backdrop.
Yeah.
A beautiful backdrop. Still not good enough. She sends a letter to Dick Clark Productions saying, hey, it's not that you're not welcome, but we don't want Lauren Daigle to be on your program.
Well, that's not within her purview.
Well, if I were Dick Clark Productions, I'd say, look, if you want the money that comes from this thing, you'll shut up and go pound some sand.
Well, yeah, you don't get to choose the talent we have on. This, and by the way, you're not doing this. The state of Louisiana is doing this through Cultural Recreation and Tourism.
Yep. The city benefits. But she seems to be more concerned with, do as I say, but not as I do. So,
by the way, in other news, there was a Sunday night shooting in addition to the one on North Ardenwood.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this was North Foster Drive near Sherwood. 26-year-old Darren Sanford died at the hospital.
Wow.
From his injuries.
That brings it up to like 112, something in that area?
Yeah.
And see, that's my point is, well, we've got this situation going on, and we got people slapping leather on each other and shooting each other dead in the streets. What are we concerned about? We're concerned about the gospel singer that performed somewhere without permission. And that's
Not to mention the fact that Lauren Daigle is also giving her time. She's not being paid for this. She is giving her time, which I'm sure, because she's getting to be a relatively big star.
She is.
I'm sure her time is somewhat scarce. She's giving her time to be a tourism ambassador for the state of Louisiana, and a lot of that is focused on New freaking Orleans.
Yep. And it's good exposure for any artist. I remember Amanda Shaw last year, her career took a major shot in the arm because she made that appearance, and she didn't even get to play a whole song. They cut away. She was 60 seconds into the tune, and they cut away. But still, Amanda Shaw got some live national exposure.
And again, they were really smart the way they put this together. What is it, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? Mm-hmm. When they put this together, Louisiana products, Louisiana talent, the national talent interacting with them, the location, and I think they did during New Year's Rockin' Eve. I think they did like 10 7-minute segments from New Orleans. This is a major deal, lady.
This woman does not seem to understand her role as the mayor of a city whose chief economic engine is tourism.
Well, where does she think the money's going to come from?
She does not seem to appreciate this. And I ask myself, is it as simple as the fact that she's from Compton in L.A., that she just doesn't appreciate? L.A. is not a tourism city. I mean, it is, but it is. People go to Hollywood, but they don't really.
They don't go to Compton.
Yeah, they don't go to Compton, exactly. Does she just not understand her role as an ambassador to the world?
I don't think she understands where the money comes from, or doesn't want to understand where the money comes from.
Well, at any rate, that's one. I got one last. Before we go to commercial, I thought I'd give you some good news. We had a young woman missing in Morgan City, teenage girl. These days, when a teenage girl goes missing, you think the worst. You think human trafficking. Sunday morning, representatives of Morgan City Police issued a news release saying that 16-year-old Jacqueline Gomez had been found safe and sound and has been returned to her family.
Good deal.
And I always like to, those kinds of stories.
But before we hit the break,
Sure.
a week ago I was in Texas. They have what they call silver alerts there, and
is that when old folks like me with silver hair go missing?
And who have mental impairment? They have dementia or some other.
That's me.
And they had this guy. He was 63 years old. They had a description of his car. They had his license plate. It was on every annunciator board on their highways, and it was on from Nacogdoches through Dallas, through Fort Worth, all the way down to Austin. And they had the number to call for the Irving Police Department, suburb of Dallas. But I mean, if you went into a convenience store, the screen that they had to show you what the lottery jackpots were would interrupt to have this silver alert on it. I mean, they really made a big effort. And apparently this guy was found.
Good.
But I mean, I'm going to need that one day.
Yep.
Just please use a picture of me that's flattering.
Quick break. We will be back in moments here. Will Wesley joins us next on Exiles TV.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Buggs Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Buggs Show. The only thing missing is you.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
You could be driving.
Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hello, welcome back, Exiles TV. We've talked about this before with other artists, the plight of the many, many people in Louisiana that choose to make a living as a songwriter, singer, performer, entertainer. This was at one time a state where if you wanted to do that, you were pretty well assured that you could make a living. But in 2020, we had COVID-19, and now nobody gets to make live music anymore.
Yeah, got harmed right along with the folks that own the venues and the pubs and the bars, but we thought we would give you a chance to hear a little live music to kind of make your day and to remember what hopefully will be coming back to you soon.
Please welcome Will Wesley over by Bill. Will is a singer, songwriter, a lot of original tunes that come out of this man, very prolific. And his collaborator and producer is Phil Chandler. That's me. Phil, glad to have you on the program. Would you guys like to just strike up the band, play a little music first?
Well, you want to say something first, don't you?
Well, hello everyone out there. It's good to see y'all, and it's good to be on the show this morning. And yes, we would love to play some music for you.
You want to do that shout out that you talked about first?
I do, actually. I would like to give a shout out to a friend and a collaborator, and one of the best bluesmen I've ever worked with, Mr. Kern Pratt, down in Greenville, Mississippi. Hey, Will and Phil here are telling you to get well soon, man.
Please do, Kern. Just let me know you're in there.
All right, we're going to give you a little room. We're going to get out of the way.
Some fighting room.
Because, I've never seen two guitarists that could sit still while they were playing, and I really don't want to get in the way of your strumming, and he doesn't want to catch that Taylor in the neck.
Phil gets a little crazy on that Taylor,
yeah.
I tell you.
So we're going to get out of the way, and we're going to let you all do it.
Take it away.
This is our latest single entitled Leah.
Same old story. You fall in love again, but your heart is as empty. That's my bottle of gin. Oh, Leah, oh, Leah. Hello, is this lonesome as goodbye? Set me free, love. You love the passing state of mind, and your heart was never mine. Another man, another victim. You're faking love again, but when the glamour turns to hold on, you run back again. Oh, Leah, was never mine. And now the tables they're turning. There ain't no one around. And the hands that you have stepped on, they won't catch you now. Oh Leon, oh Leon, hello is as lonesome as goodbye. I don't need your sound that free love. For you, love's a passing state of mind, and your heart was never mine, and your heart was never mine.
Hey. Thank you.
That was good stuff.
Do
I saw
appreciate
that. I saw that on YouTube late last week.
That's got to go there. Yeah, that's a nice loud guitar.
Yes, it is.
So let's talk about that song. Is that just did it just come together, or is it a story that you're telling, or?
It's actually part of a pretty large story I'm telling. It's part of a trilogy of videos that I've written entitled The Let It All Burn Trilogy. And what it follows is basically the story of a character on his journey through the music industry and the ups and downs that he's going through. And Leah is actually the second installment of that. So basically we were, it's telling the story of a guy who fell in love with a girl and just didn't work out, your stereotypical story.
Yeah.
But it also featured 5-time Grammy winner Michael Cleveland on fiddle, which was wonderful to work with.
Fantastic player. Played with Vince Gill, Marty Stewart. Top class, world class.
And we also had Miss Hannah Bell on harmony singing that, who's also from Mississippi but lives here in Louisiana. So we've collaborated with a lot of fun people on this and very talented people. So it's.
Well, I want to know how you all got started and how your collaboration came together. I noticed something right away. In my experience, most people that are singer-songwriters are heavy on the singing, and they're really pretty crappy guitar players. But you guys aren't.
Well,
you guys are really, really good guitar players.
Thank you so much.
So where did this all start for both of you, and then how'd you all get together?
Well, you know, I started out as a guitarist, being a side man behind people like Grady Champion, people, big blues artists. Worked with, Baton Rouge's own Larry Garner and folks like that. And so I kind of started out making a living playing guitar. And then my dream was always to be a songwriter and my own performer, so I just kind of molded into that. And then I met Phil Chandler here, who was a front man in his own right.
It's like I had my own groups like the Crazy 88s and Orange Joe that played around here in Baton Rouge, played around in other places, and then when we got together, we were essentially like almost like an Eagles situations where you had different frontmen come together as a group, and it's like, okay, well, you have your role to play and I have mine, and so we just tend to make a good team together.
And I'm guessing before all this, y'all were making a living.
Yes, we were.
We were working a lot, yeah.
We still are. It's just a lot harder.
But, I mean, making a living as working musicians and getting your songs published and recorded, you're getting near the top of the stairwell.
Yeah, yeah, we're getting there gradually. It's a gradual climb.
It's like, yeah, I think before everything had shut down, I think I was playing on Bourbon. You were playing 3 or 4 times a week. I was going 5 or 6 times a week. I mean, it's a hustle out there for a musician.
Yeah, you got to constantly be
job.
on it. Yeah, it's definitely a
popular
job.
belief.
Well, your background is blues, but you also got a healthy background in country. Which would you say is driving the truck these days?
You know, I actually think that blues and country are more closely related than people think. You know, it's all about the stories you're telling and the life you live. You know, it's just the way you phrase it within the music. So when I say which one is more dominant, I would have to say that growing up listening to such great storytellers like Hank Williams and Marty Stewart, and my personal, like Doc Watson's one of my personal favorites, and then also getting schooled with some of the best blues music like Albert King, and Stevie Ray Vaughan and B.B. King and all these great blues artists I grew up listening to. I'd really say that they're both just one and the same animal. You know, maybe I just put it into a different form of music, but to me, it's all the blues in one way or another.
Now, is this home?
Yes.
And you too?
Mm-hmm. Born and raised in
Baton
Denham
Rouge.
Springs.
Well, we certainly have a rich musical tradition here.
Oh yes, very rich.
There's a lot of talent in this town. Like, I know Baton Rouge isn't the most, compared to New Orleans, New Orleans is music town, but Baton Rouge has some talent in it.
But I think over the years, I think Baton Rouge has sent more players to the big leagues than New Orleans. If you look at people like Dale and Grace and Jimmy Clanton and
That's
Johnny
right.
Rivers and
Johnny
people
Rivers.
like that,
Randy Jackson.
Yeah, I think we sent more people to the big leagues than New Orleans has.
That's right. There are a lot of musicians. Baton Rouge doesn't get the respect that it deserves for how many musicians it actually has put in the big leagues. Of course, we all know New Orleans gets a lot of the credit for that, but Baton Rouge is right there with them.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's do another tune before we go to the break.
Sure.
And in the truck, as soon as they're done with the tune, let's take the break then, and then we'll bring them back for another segment. We'll talk a little more.
Hey, I'm glad to be here.
We're going to get out of your way and let you play.
Will Wesley, Phil Chandler, let's go.
Well, talking about the blues and talking about Mr. Kern Pratt, this is one that we recorded together earlier this year. It's called A New Kind of Blues. It's about this pandemic we're all having. 2, 3. Well, everywhere I go, there's a brand new trend. People living like the world's gonna end. There's time to waste, and they're stuck in one place, leaving scars on the whole human race. You can't change it, it's something new, and the whole world's down with a new kind of blues. Well, down in the Delta, where the blues was born, nobody's going out anymore. Their doors are locked and you can't get in. It makes me wonder when it's all gonna end. You can't change it, it's something new, and the whole world's down with a new kind of blues. Of my years burn out and ragged till I disappear. You can call me crazy, you can call me insane. It's the same old blues with a new kind of name. You can't change it, it's something new. It's going around and there ain't nothing you can do. You can't change it, it's something new, and the whole world's down with a new kind of blues. It's a new kind of blues. It's a new kind of blues. Well, it's a new kind of blues. Well, it's a new kind of blues.
surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances. Your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances. Your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000. The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Welcome back, Exiles TV. Our guest today, Will Wesley, singer-songwriter. Phil Chandler is his collaborator, producer, and they've been making some live music. If you're just tuning in and you missed their first two songs, let me remind you that at 10 o'clock tonight, we'll do a replay of this particular episode, and if you're one of those on-demand types, give us a couple of hours and we'll have this whole thing up for you on YouTube. Go to the Pelican Broadcasting page on YouTube to view any of their fine quality products.
And if you like music, look, tell your friends, tune in at 10 o'clock tonight and watch this, because this is about the only live music you're going to get for the next couple of weeks.
You could say that
and
twice.
It's pretty darn good music, so please tell your friends.
Well, if I may, you did mention early on when we were talking that that you're not working at all. How are you managing to find things to do and places to play and money to be made?
Well, me and Phil are the kind of believers that when times get tough, you get tougher. Mm-hmm. And when this pandemic hit, look, let's just be honest about it. It put a lot of great musicians out of work. We know it. We've seen it happen, and we just refused to let that happen with us. So what we did, Phil's a masterful producer. We decided to get in the studio, get these songs out. And I'm happy to say that the song we just played, Leah, is playing across 175 radio stations worldwide.
Good. That's wonderful.
That the success of that is helping get us on tour and get us around. We're going to Texas in a few days to go on a Texas tour. And we're definitely moving around with this. So we've been blessed by God, I suppose, to just be able to stay working with the success of the singles we're releasing out of the studio.
Now, when you tour, when you're on stage, Is it just you two and Limbo Light, or do you have a whole band backing you?
We do both. We're going on a duo tour right now because of the situation and the pandemic and all the social distancing and things. But we also have a band, and a very good one at that. We got Mr. Seth Jones on drums. We
Mr.
got
Chris Lesage on bass.
the newest member.
We both play guitar.
Yep.
It's just been a matter of adapting because, I mean, what with indoor music kind of being a little rough and rocky, some underground places are still trying to, you know, put up the rebel flag, so to speak, and play music still.
And we won't mention them by name.
No, we will not.
We're not going to tell you where they are. You keep your goons at home.
But a lot of people have also been adapting to like put their stuff outside, and a lot of outdoor venues have been popping up and stuff like Beauvoir Park and Baton Rouge and places like that where you can go outside.
Has the virtual concert, the Facebook Live type concert, has that worked for you?
I'm going to be honest with you about it. You know, I might go against the grain here, but me and Phil are energetic live players. You know, I mean, does it work? Yeah, we've done a few and had. It's just not the same to us. We like to be out there. We like to see the people. We like to engage with the people.
I so feel you on
we
that.
feed off of
I
that.
absolutely agree.
You know,
to me, it would feel like I'm practicing and there's a camera rolling.
Yeah, you know, because you can, if you go to a Will Wesley show, the one thing you notice is that me and Phil are so engaging with our crowd. We love all of our fans, and we love to play for them. You know, and that's one of the things you'll get at a Will Wesley show is that we are going to be engaging our audience, you know. So it's just different playing for a camera. I feel like I'm playing for the dogs and cats, you know what I mean?
Even though it's more accessible, people on Facebook just have such a short attention span. It's like, that's cool, and, you know.
I'm willing to wait. You know, I like to hear the sound of the pick hitting the strings. I like to see a little bit of spittle flying out of your mouths when you hit a high note.
Right.
Close up.
I tuned in, and I'm not going to mention the artist because I don't want to embarrass him because he really works hard at making his craft.
Mm-hmm.
But he's done a few of these Facebook Live virtual shows.
Yeah.
And I've logged on, and you know, you can watch the numbers go up, the numbers go down, and they go up and down. I mean, as far as those watching,
That's right.
it happens quickly.
Yes.
People will log in, they'll watch for 90 seconds, and
90
they're gone.
seconds. That's exactly right. And, you know, it's really an example of how hard these times are on musicians. I mean, I understand that we're all out there trying to do what we can, you know, but we haven't had a lot of motivation for the live Facebook shows as much as we do getting out. We miss our fans. We want to play for our people, you know.
I can tell you have fun.
yeah.
I mean, and you guys came in prior to the show, and you started having fun the minute you unpacked your guitar.
Absolutely. That's what we love.
There's a different dynamic to it when you're in front of people doing your thing.
It is. You can feel the, look, I've said it for years. Music, it breaks all barriers. It brings people together. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you're from. It brings everyone together. And, you know, with the world shut down, you can't bring people together from a Facebook page as much as you can from a live audience and, you know, performing for these people, you know. And that's one thing I dearly miss.
What happens when lightning goes ahead and flies into your bottle, and it will, and you get big? Is Baton Rouge going to see y'all again?
Yes, they are. Look, no matter what happens, no matter where we go,
Just
Louisiana's
once I'd love to
our
hear an
home.
artist go.
Nah, you're going to get
I'm out of here and I ain't coming back. No, I'm just kidding. No, me and Phil always remember.
So this is always home, but there's a big world out there that we want to take our music to. But this is always home for us.
Always.
Do you find when you're sitting together and you're trying to put a new tune together and you're disagreeing on what chord goes where and you know where it should go high, where it should go low, and you find that being at home doing it gets you over the rough spots as opposed to the pressure cooker of you're sitting in a nicely equipped practice studio in Nashville or LA and there's somebody coming in every 2 hours going, got anything yet?
Yes. You know, I've always liked the isolation of songwriting, so to speak. Me and Phil, right here in Baton Rouge, I'm usually the idea man who comes up with the song, and I'll let Phil describe what he does in the songwriting process.
Well, it's like we've actually taken, where technology's gotten so good nowadays and so small nowadays that you can take a lot of the stuff that you would do in a studio setting, and as long as you can get your room sounding right, you can get comparable results. Like at home, which is kind of what we did with the pandemic, was when we put out the blues single, New Kind of Blues, you know, we had made plans, okay, we're going to go to your house, we're going to set up the room to where it sounds good, we're going to have you a mic way over there, everything's going to be, you know, safe as people want it, and we're just going to crank this out from home. because I mean, frankly, technologically, we can do that now.
Phil, I want to ask you one question. Is you do the production, so I'm going to presume you also do the arrangement? When you take a song that was written by two guys with acoustic guitars, and you're now fleshing that out to the electric guitars, bass guitar, bringing in the drums, maybe some keyboards. Do you conceive those parts yourself and then tell that artist what to play, or do you give the artist some leeway to come up with a bass line that grooves?
It's a collaboration, especially with Will, because Will has all these ideas. Where I mean, he's a great guitar player. He comes up with a lot of the ideas himself. However, as a bass player and as a keyboard player, I have some. I can think in those directions better than a amazing guitar player. So it's kind of a mix to where sometimes it'll be like, hey, Will, I really think you should do this. And there's times where he's like, oh, no, I've got this in my head, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
It's really a joint effort.
Are you guys more like Lennon McCartney or John and Topin?
Well, those are some heavy shoes to fill.
I mean, I was very surprised to learn that Elton John never wrote a lyric in his life.
No, he didn't.
That Bernie Taupin did all the lyrics. Now, Lennon McCartney would basically write their songs individually and maybe add something to the others.
We're more Lennon McCartney because I'll let Phil take it.
I'd actually call this more like if you're the Beatles, I'm more like George Martin, where like you'll come up, you'll just call me up in the middle of the night and be like, hey, I got another song. I need you to hear it and play it.
By the way,
I
got one I wrote before on the show this morning. I'll run it by you after the show's done.
And then I'll essentially be like, okay, how do we make this big idea happen?
Yeah, I basically come up with a lot of the ideas, and Phil's really, really talented at refining it, and his production is just masterful. He's one of the best producers.
It's working because you guys are pretty darn smooth.
Well, thank you very much.
We want to thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us, and you are cordially invited to come back, please.
Yeah, we would love to have you back.
Keep us abreast of new releases and things like that, and God willing and the creek don't rise, this vaccine starts going around, maybe Pharaoh will let my people go, and we can get back to enjoying some live music.
It's got to happen at some point, and we would be proud to be able to say, hey, these guys are going to be here, and here in the next few weeks for you.
Gentlemen, it's great being on this show, and we'll come back and play for you anytime. You just let us know.
Love to do it. Thank you so much for being with us.
Will Wesley, Phil Chandler, again, appreciate it, and you have to come back.
We'll be back.
Steal a line from Clarence Buggs. You have to come back.
We're coming.
We're going to jump to the break here, and then we'll come back to wrap up the show in just a few moments. Thanks for being with us on Exiles TV. Back in a moment.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down.
Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Exiles TV. Speaking of television, which this is, in case you hadn't noticed.
It is.
Have you noticed that we are getting a better positioned crop of Christmas movies this year on the cable channels?
No, I haven't noticed any such thing.
I have. I mean,
now, I'm not saying I disagree. I just haven't noticed.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that on Saturday, midday, they were running It's a Wonderful Life.
On what channel?
They were running it on USA.
Really?
Yeah. And almost simultaneously on Freeform, they were running the Home Alone trilogy. And then they ran National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation a couple times yesterday on AMC. I think the programming geniuses are finally understanding that a lot of us are still not going out as much, and maybe they should give us some things that we would like to watch to improve their ratings.
Here's one thing I've noticed, and I want to tread carefully when I tell you this, because I'm not judging. But I noticed this year I saw a lot of promos, and last night it was on. I've seen a lot of promos for a movie that's basically a Christmas movie, a Christmas romance, but it's two guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm not judging. I mean, look, guys fall in love, and I'm sure guys fall in love at Christmas. I mean, but they were apparently really, really proud of this movie. Andy McDowell's in it, and I would watch Andy McDowell read the phone book. I just think she's like 63 and still the most beautiful creature. But it's basically a same-sex.
What's the name of this movie?
I want to say Dashing in December. Because I've seen the promos over and over and over for it. Yesterday, what I noticed when I was flipping through the channel guide, it was on like 5 cable channels at the same time. So some people want you to see this movie. I think they got that much faith in it.
You've got to figure that there's going to be, for better or for worse, a certain resistance to it. So if you want to accumulate an audience, you better put it on a bunch of platforms.
There's going to be your people that call it Brokeback Mountain Christmas and that kind of thing. But it didn't look the promos don't make it look especially great. As a matter of fact, as Marianne and I were talking about it, and I said, this could have been any one of those Hallmark holiday movies. Mm-hmm. All you got to do is just swap out, the girl for the guy.
Yeah.
And sometimes the movie, the girl is the one who's, it's always somebody who's a fish out of water. It's the city boy who winds up out in the country.
Yes.
And sometimes the girl is the tomboyish wrangler that works on the ranch or whatever. That also puts people up at Christmas time. Or sometimes the girl is the city slicker. And all you got to do is just reverse the gender and make them both the same gender. And you still got a love story, right?
There aren't that many plot lines that you can do around Christmas if you want to have something successful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, I was fighting with Christmas lights, and Karen said...
Don't get me... Go ahead,
I had enough profanity going for Karen saying, hey, It's a Wonderful Life is on. Why don't you come in and watch it for a while? And, I know it's a classic, but I can't do it anymore. I cannot watch It's a Wonderful Life anymore. Just like as a kid, I used to love White Christmas with Bing and Danny. I can't do it anymore.
I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree with you because White Christmas is fun and it's uplifting and it's a fun story. Really, when you get right down to it, It's a Wonderful Life is all about suicide. And it's really depressing until the last few minutes.
Yeah.
The movie's very depressing until you get right down to the last few minutes where George Bailey is having his transformation, his Scrooge moment, if you will.
And I think what they were trying to do was they were trying to say, here is a guy who is a good man, and he has been denied everything he wanted in his life so that he could take care of other people. And the thanks he gets is on Christmas Eve, his addled old uncle, who he allows to touch money, which I never got that.
Yeah, never understood that at all.
Forces him to where he's going to be ruined, and he's standing on a bridge, and his guardian angel comes to prevent it. But up until that time, poor old George Bailey was getting nut-kicked by life at every step and turn.
But see, Clarence's role, not Clarence Bugs, Clarence the Angel, Clarence's role in the movie is to remind him, dude, you've got to count your blessings. You're married to friggin' Donna Reed, for crying out loud. You got beautiful children, including Zuzu.
Yeah.
Was it Zuzu? It's a great holiday movie, but not one of my favorites. I will, because I'm just a fan of singing and dancing, I will sit down and watch White Christmas. I've got it on Blu-ray, so I can watch it whenever I want to.
I do too, and I don't watch it anymore. I get into the corn. There is way too much corn. You know, and
you're not a big fan of Danny Kaye either, are you?
No.
See, I thought he was brilliant.
No. A needle-nosed fake singer.
I thought he was brilliant. I thought that Bing Crosby was extremely brilliant at making people think he was a nice man.
Yeah, because he wasn't. He wasn't. He beat his kids and cheated on his wife. And there, have a Merry Christmas.
That's our show for today. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how you can help a home for veterans. This home is under threat, and we're going to have somebody out here to ask your help in helping veterans keep their halfway house, for lack of a better word. And who else do we have tomorrow?
Somebody important.
Bo.
Yeah, Bo Clark.
Bo Clark. With us tomorrow.
Back tomorrow. You
Ciao.
come here too. Bye.